please start with showing us team news, any injury updates, please?
No, everybody is trained this week. Everybody's fine, so hopefully we have a full team to get selected from. Apart, obviously, from Rhys, that, as you know, has been injured for a few weeks now.
Lots to be pleased about with that Bournemouth performance, but what satisfied you the most?
Obviously, the way we played, the way we perform, and obviously picking up the points and continued in a good run.
The way you started the season is completely different to the way you started the previous one. What do you think it's mainly down to?
Well, for sure, the players that you have available and the players that we had available at that time, we are in a different moment. It's a year gone by. The same player that was playing a year ago, and I can put some examples, especially in our development players, and where they are today is a completely different scenario. And good momentum, good energy around the place, good confidence. Let's keep going.
Fulham showed a lot of resiliency so far this season. What do you expect from them tomorrow?
A really tough match. Obviously, they come from an incredible run last year in the Championship. They did extremely well. They haven't lost a game yet in the Premier League, and they played against three very difficult opponents. So credit to them. I think it will be a difficult game.
Alexander Mitrovic, some people question how well he will do in the Premier League, but started the season really well. Is it mainly his aerial threat the biggest defensive challenge tomorrow?
Well, when he's around the box, as you could see last season, scored 43 goals in the league, and he's already scored 3 goals this season. So it tells you the efficiency that he has in these areas, and obviously is one of the main threats of Fulham.
Thank you.
Ellie, Sky?
Hi, please can I ask, are there any transfer updates for us?
No, right now.
I know that Pepe's left on loan. We've not heard from you kind of since then, so I just wonder kind of what's your reaction to that, and if you can tell us why you think maybe it didn't work out here.
Well, it's been now 3 years since he joined the club, and obviously had some very good moments, some other where he hasn't really contributed that much to a team in terms of minutes, and we have decided for every party that it was the best decision to allow him to go. He needs to play minutes, he needs to play football. He was really adamant to do that, and we decided it was the best thing for everybody to do it.
You touched on it there, you know, what a great start to the season, but I wonder what's the mood as you look ahead to Fulham? I assume everyone in a good place and excited.
The mood is really good, the energy is really good. The boys trained exceptionally well this week again, and we just have to put another good performance and the right to win.
George?
Mikel, hello. Europa League, you've got this draw. I just wondered, in terms of this competition, would it be fair to say Champions League football is a priority? So you're going to go all out to win it?
I think you have to go in every competition that we are present, try to win it, go step by step. Obviously, let's see what the draw brings today, and start to prepare the competition the best possible way as well.
There was a story in the papers earlier this week about financial fair play and Arsenal being on a potential UEFA watch list. I just wondered if we could get your response to that.
We are compliant and we have heard nothing, so I don't know where that is coming from.
So that will have no bearing on any potential incomings in the next few weeks at all?
No, I think the club has been very disciplined all the time, and with a very clear vision how we want to do things, the limitation we have, and how we have to deal with things. So in that sense, nothing changes.
Okay, on to a little more positive things. 100th Premier League match for you in charge of Arsenal tomorrow. Was you aware of that stat?
I just found out 2 minutes ago. Mark mentioned it to me. I didn't know, but time flies.
What does it mean to you to make that milestone and 52 wins? It's not a bad record.
Such a privilege, obviously, to be in this football club and reaching that number. Hopefully we can extend that for a long period and bring joy and a lot of wins.
And could I just ask you about one player, Hector Bellerin? What is going to happen with him over the next 2 weeks?
There are still a few players that obviously we are discussing the futures, and we'll try to find the best solution for all parties.
Please.
Mikel, can I continue about the 100th Premier League game? What have you learned in your 100 Premier League games here at Arsenal?
How difficult and how beautiful life is when you win or lose. Especially that, and then that looking back, obviously analyzing the journey and how many things have happened in the way, that every decision counts, that consistency is so important, and just do what you believe in, because at the end it will happen.
You mentioned the word journey there, and you've used the word project quite a few times in press conferences. have you always steadfastly been behind the journey and the project, or did you even at any point doubt that you would get to this point now where you are in such a good position?
We are human beings, we doubt, especially when you lose football matches and when the environment turns around and you don't find the real way to win matches, even though sometimes you deserve to do that, trying to find other ways to adapt. And I think you have to adapt, but at the end you have to feel what you do, because it's the best way to transmit it, especially to your players and then to our supporters and everybody around the club. And this is what we have tried to do at all times.
You got the Europa League draw. It's 2 games a week now, whereas last season you had game, week off, game. How are you going to make sure that the squad keep the high standards they've got now, playing those extra games?
It's a completely unprecedented season, not only because we're going to be playing here a lot of weeks with 2 or 3 games in a week, but especially because we have the World Cup coming up right now. So we don't know how this is going to affect. So we have to look at the overall picture, and all the preparation and periodization has been done in regards to that.
Last one from me, I want to mention a couple of strikers, not Mitrovic. Gabriel Jesus has been absolutely fantastic for you, so if you could give me a word on him. And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been linked with a return to London with Chelsea. Will that bring a wry smile to your face?
Well, with Gabi, obviously, we are exceptionally happy with the way he's settled, with the way he's performing, with what he brought to the club in general as well. And in relation to Oba, obviously, it's his future, and we wish him the best, whatever he decides.
Will you look him up and go and have a coffee with him?
Sorry?
Will you look him up and go and have a coffee with him?
I normally don't do that with players.
Mark?
Hi, Mikel. Just back on Pepe. You weren't at the club at the time, and obviously it hasn't really worked out for him. But do you think that club record transfer fee was a bit of a weight around his neck at the end of the day?
I don't know. I think Nico has tried to deal with that in the best possible way. Obviously, he's not responsible for the price that a club pays for him. He's tried everything. His attitude and the way he's is just phenomenal. I think you just have to meet the person, because you have to love him for the way he is. But then in terms of, the decisions that you have to make on the pitch and who do you have to select, we have made other decisions, and obviously that has had an impact in terms of the chances he had to prove his quality.
It is only a loan, so it's not the end of his Arsenal career yet, is it? If he has a good year, he could come back to your fans.
He needs his minutes. He's been craving for minutes. He's been talking to me a lot about it. I could not guarantee that right now for what he was looking for. And at some stage, if you extend that period for too long, then frustration comes in. The level of performance won't get what we want, and we decided it was the best thing to do.
We've mentioned the Europa League draw. You've obviously spent the most money of any club in the Premier League last summer. You've been back this summer with players like Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko. If the club isn't in the Champions League next year, would that be seen as a bit of a failure this year, do you think?
Well, I think it's a question for all the Premier League teams that are buying 6, 7, 8 players in their starting 11. So you ask that question, what is failure? We have to perform. We have to do week in, week out. We have started well, and we have to focus on the next match. That's it.
James?
Hi, Mikel. Just on Nico. We know that at the time that Nico was not the player the manager wanted, and it was a huge investment. Of late, when you've been spending money, it's been on players that have made a real impact, and we know you've wanted. Do you feel like the club has learned some lessons of recruitment from maybe the struggles that Nico had?
I don't know. The club and whoever decides to bring players all the time, whether I'm involved or whoever was involved in the past, it's always with the best intention, because they believed at the time that it was the best player we could get in the market to have an impact for the club. But sometimes it's not that easy, and you see that everywhere, that you get a top player, you put in a different cost, and suddenly it doesn't work. It's this industry is very complicated. We try to minimize the risk as much as possible, but at the end of the day, they are not machines, they are human beings, and they need all the factors to go right to fulfill their potential.
And on the Europa League draw, do you let yourself look at the pots beforehand and think what group you'd like, some good trips or some good opponents?
I think inevitably you do it, you look at it, the traveling and the weeks that those games are going to come in, what would be better or worse. At the end of the day, we have nothing to do with that. It's pure luck, and let's see what it brings today.
Just on the decision to let Nico go, there's a widespread sort of expectation amongst the fan base now that decision must mean that you're going to be bringing in a replacement for him in the squad. I mean, is that the case? Do you expect to replace Nico in the next week or so?
When we can, if we can implement the plan that we have, we will try to do. And in that plan, that was something that it could happen. Now it's a reality, and we've been preparing the last 2 months in order to achieve what we want. Whether that's possible or not, we will see.
If you don't manage to implement that plan in the next 6 days, do you look at the squad that you have now and the work you've done in the summer, and are you confident it's strong enough to achieve what you want, certainly until January at the earliest?
We've done it in a different ways. At the start of the window, we signed players before getting other players out, and now we've done something different. We have let a player go, and maybe be able to recruit somebody, but it's not a guarantee because the players are still not here. What I guarantee you that the day that window closes, for me, this is the best team in the world, and I will try to get the best out of them. That's it.
Just more generally on the transfer market, the expectation is Chelsea will do something late in the window. Manchester United apparently are going to try and sign at least one player. You're talking about maybe signing one yourself. Just generally speaking, is it because you have direct access to the market? What is it like? Is it crazy out there at the moment as it gets to the finals of the week?
Well, when you look at the players that they are coming, the amount of money is spent, the level that already the squad had, and what they are adding. It's something that I haven't experienced in this league, and you saw yesterday a few of the transfers that happened, and what is going to happen still in the last week or so. I think is going to be pretty powerful.
Because the Premier League spending, I think, is already getting to a record level for this window. Is it tougher out there just to get anyone through the door? Maybe?
Yeah, but the record as well in terms of performances that leagues has produced as well. Last year it was the highest ever, and when you see the total points that you need to achieve certain things, it never happened in this league. So that's the standards. The standard has raised so much for every single team in this league, and you can already see in the first few games surprises in results and performances.
And just one on the Europa League. Obviously, that's going to bring Thursday, Sunday scheduling back. That's a big change from last season. Are you confident you've got a squad that's going to be able to handle that?
Well, that's what we hope. Obviously, there are a few things that we cannot control, injuries you cannot control, suspensions as we had in the past, but we have to maintain the level of performance that we are right now, and the demands will be to do it every 3 days, which is at least what you are hoping for when you are at this club.
Thanks everyone. That's the broadcast section. So we'll